Water is for washing blood off that uniform, and you don't get no blood on my uniform. Boy, you must be outside your mind. We are going to do up downs until Blue is no longer tired and thirsty.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Man Cave. We are Ryan, Corey, and Ham, and Jamie, and you are listening to the Much About Nothing podcast, the show where we give expert takes and good-hearted debates. We talk ball and anything and everything else. Today, we got a slate for you. I'm gonna let Corey tell you what we're gonna be talking about. If you're new
Oh,
to the pod, greetings. Hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, smash that bell. If you have not been hitting the like button, please hit the like button. If you go back and hit them, that's great. But going forward, please hit the like button. Tell a friend. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Let's get back into it. Corey, what's up?
yes, as he said, we have an interesting podcast this day. We're going to talk about something very, very relevant and very, very near dear to all our hearts. We're going to get into this, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to start this thing off right, like we said. This is the everything else that we've been bringing forth. So we're going to start this thing off with Myles Leonard. Myles Leonard now have received a 10-day contract with the Bucks, and if you do not know who he is, Myles Leonard is a very, very special young boy. Myles Leonard has gotten himself into some trouble a while back, and you have no. If you do not know, he hasn't played in the NBA since January of 2021. Why? He used to play for the Miami Heat. While rehabbing an injury, he used anti-Semitic slurs during a Call of Duty game. And a viewer discretion is advised, but I'm about to play that clip right now to bring y'all up to speed. So here it goes.
Let's go, baby.
Fucking cowards. Don't fucking snipe me, you fucking kike bitch. I just dropped that on my head. That didn't even go to fucking... anyways.
Okay, the word "kite" is an anti-Semitic slur used by German Nazis at the time to refer to Jewish people. If you do not know, now he was suspended for a week by the NBA and fined $50,000. He was later traded to OKC, in which he was waived. He hasn't played in the NBA since. Basically, he has been stuff that you don't want to get your hands on. So, on to y'all. We're gonna start this question off with the first things first. Was Myles Leonard punishment appropriate?
Who up first?
We can't be scared to touch on this now. Look at this, somebody. You want me to start off my page?
Oh, go ahead. Start off, my boy.
Do I think he's the far as the penalty suspended for a week and fine? I'm of the aspect. I think any business is of their discretion to handle their business how they seem necessary. If I own the business and I ain't feel like my employees did something appropriate, I believe I should hand out punishment. I don't think it really even gets into the court of public opinion. At the end of the day, if I'm running a corporation, you represent my corporation. Being as an employee, you represent that corporation. You do anything to stain my product that I'm trying to sell, I can move on as I see fit. I can fire you. I can do what I want to do. So is that too far? No, I do not. I believe the NBA could have went much farther. But do I believe that this man career should have been ended because of this? No, I'm not of that aspect. But I think that's some of public opinion. I don't think that's really the NBA. I think that's really just the NBA protecting that bottom dollar. At the end of the day, teams care about money. If they feel like they bring you in, Jewish people are going to revolt and not show up to their game, and you're going to cost them money. Sorry, Mr. Leonard, you're not coming in. That's just the way things go.
Yeah, good
So
point.
next up,
Personally, I think it was a punishment, but there's a couple things that I need from him before I'm ready to be okay with it. He needs to apologize to the Jewish community. He needs to make a $500,000 donation to anti-hate causes. He needs to complete sensitivity training.
I know
He needs to complete anti-Semitism training. He needs to meet with the ADL and Jewish leaders, and he also needs to meet with the Bucks owner because that's what they made Kyrie do.
That's exactly what they made him do.
That's simple. $50,000. Kyrie had to give him $500,000.
$500,000.
so hopefully that's coming. Hopefully that's coming. I mean, now listen, like I was telling Corey, no hate in my heart. It's Call of Duty, and if you play Call of Duty, boy, Call of Duty make you hot.
We know.
And you say some things on Call of Duty that you never would otherwise say on a regular basis. Does it make it right? No. As a professional, I believe that he if I don't know if he was streaming or how that video got out, but I want to say I don't think it was harsh enough because part of his reason he was away from the game was because he was injured, not just because of his combats. So, 10 days, $50,000, that's cool. But I think there's a list of other things that he should do, just like they made Kyrie Irving do.
What you got, Jamie?
NBA just protecting their brand, man. That's all they're doing. They protecting the logo. Just like if the NFL, something happened in the NFL, they're gonna protect that shield. So whatever he said, I mean, it's a game. You play on the game. You say stuff, but he knew what he was saying because half of us don't even know what that means until we had to look it up. So he had to know what that meant and know what he said. And he said it like out of randomness, like for real. But he knew what he said. He knew what it meant because I mean, us as black people, we don't know what that means. So, I mean, he got his punishment. As Ron said, he deserved more because of what Kyrie did. But Kyrie didn't say anything to that magnitude, not to anybody on the game. Because you're streaming the game, you're playing with kids, you're playing with grown-ups, you're playing with everybody. So, who knows who he was talking to that way on that game? You know what I'm saying? So, I feel like he needs to do something else. But the NBA is protecting their brand. They don't want to lose their money. That's why he hasn't been in the league.
Yeah.
Oh man, let me walk lightly on this one here. So, thing one, he was injured when he said it.
Yeah.
So suspending him for 10 games really was justified because he wasn't going to play.
He wasn't on.
Secondly, to be clear, he ended up having surgery in April. So when they actually traded him, Oklahoma City has been doing this anyway. He was a salary cap dump. Oklahoma City did not want him as a player. They've been taking picks and writing people off because they have excess money on their books. So it was just really a fiduciary type trade. And the fact of the matter is, the reason why he's not been in the NBA is because he's not worth. Some people are not worth the trouble. Like it's not worth answering the question. He's not that good. Like to where you have to I want to sit there at a press conference and answer questions while I'm getting the guy that says the words that he shouldn't say. Like so that is one. That's what my take is. As far as comparing it to Kyrie, of course we know the consequences aren't the same. Sure cost him a lot more than what it cost Myers, but who's to say he might not even. This is a nothing story.
Yeah, he ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, he's not. He's not. But this is what I have to say. Now, what is he about 6'10"?
7 foot.
7 foot even. Yeah, 7 foot even.
That'll give you some opportunities. But the truth of the matter is, I think I would give that open spot to somebody else.
Yeah.
I think I would. I mean, because the truth of the matter is, like Jamie said, I remember when he said it. And I remember what the first thing I did was I looked it up because I didn't even know. That's not even a word that I'm even familiar with. I hear a lot of insults, but I haven't heard that one. He went deep into his racism to pull that one out. And so, and the fact that he said it so flowingly, it didn't surprise him. He spoke and it kept playing. So obviously, this is something that is in his vernacular. Like I just think I'd rather not deal with the guy. That's pretty much all I can say about it. Would you got anything else on that?
I will say it is. I think there's a little bit of difference between the Kyrie situation. We are in a different age today than we were back then. I think the NBA are allowed to learn. They probably learned this mistake with Miles Leonard and said, okay, we got to up the ante. Even though, I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to get into this a little bit more. I'm going to save a lot of my opinions to later. Also, Miles Leonard did not stand during that, remember the bubble?
Black Lives Matter. Yep.
Yeah, the bubble thing with the Black Lives Matter. He was the only player not to stand for the Miami Heat.
Not to kneel. Yeah,
not to kneel. I'm sorry. Not to kneel for the Miami Heat. And that might have something to play with it. I don't know.
Here goes real quick on this, not to interrupt you. You know, the NBA is a lot different than the NFL.
Yes,
the NBA, the players have a lot of power, and that doesn't. In a world of inclusiveness, that's probably not the guy you want in your locker room with you.
Not at all.
And so, it wasn't about whether you thought you need to stand or this, that, and the third. You felt like by not taking that knee, I need to stand against the team that's actually making this decision. So it's more than whether I will stand for the anthem or whether I'm kneeling for Black Lives Matter. When the 11 other guys decide to do it, then you are really taking a stance against them also. So at that point, that's not the type of guy you really kind of would expect would acclimate well in any locker room. And the last thing I'm going to say about this is, you're right, the climate is different. Because in this climate right now, they changing billionaires into millionaires. In this climate, when you say something anti-Semitic, it is put out there that it's gonna cost you. It is gonna cost you a pound of flesh.
A pound of flesh.
but that's only for black ones. But you know, that's me.
No, I mean they stand. You know, we say stand on stuff. They stand on the fact that they won't tolerate, and for good reason. I mean, if you really take in the history of it, they keep the line of anti-Semitism at words, because if you keep it at words, it can't go any further. You know what I mean? If the words are the line that we're going to defend right now, we're not going to get to the point where things are even worse. Like, so and for good reason. They keep their line, and I respect it, that you're not going to do that. And because it's going to cost you a pound of flesh. And unless Myers is about to be a professional Call of Duty player.
I got one disagreement with that. I mean, I'm of the belief myself personally. Like, about the standing situation, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, feel like I'm forcing somebody to do a certain, because if I don't want to stand, I don't want to kneel, I don't want to do anything. I think that should be your freedom. I think at the end of the day, you shouldn't be forced to do anything you don't want to do. Because necessarily, if he didn't agree with kneeling, he still stood there. He still was there with the team. But can I be mad at him for not supporting my cause? At the end of the day,
but is anybody saying that they mad? It's not bad. Like, you're never without a decision. That man made his decision.
Okay.
And nobody made him do anything. Yeah. But even in this group right there, if 3 out of us decide we want to do something, and we're gonna make a public gesture, and then one of us says, "Nah, I'm not gonna do it." It's not just taking a stance against. Not just taking a stance against that.
Say, what if it went against y'all 3 wanted to do something necessarily that did not fit my religious beliefs? That's my belief, right? Should I be shunned because of that?
I'm not saying no.
If let's say his belief was he held that flag strongly for some reason that he must stand. He was brung up that way deeply to believe this thing. Should he be shunned?
Brought up what way?
I don't know. We don't know. I'm saying.
Oh no! Let's not tiptoe around it. Now.
No, I'm not tiptoeing. I'm saying anything that he believes is his belief. I share a belief that's very, very contrary to other people's belief. I'm a Christian. At the end of the day, my beliefs can be viewed by some as hateful, right? Should I be shunned because I don't want to participate in a certain thing? Should I be cast off? Saying, hey, Cole, you can't be a part of the podcast no more. You don't want to join in on our group activities. I'm just saying some things that, I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. At the end of the day, I would say, if you don't want to stand with us, we know where you stand. And I know where you stand, but at the end of the day, I don't need you to agree with me to partake.
Yeah, I think the bigger issue is here for me is
Man,
with this liability, why the Bucks even taking a chance?
I don't know.
Why they even taking a chance?
I would.
All these other ballers out here, right? Like we haven't seen this dude play ball in what 3 years? Because he's 7 foot. That's why he getting a chance. He's 7 feet. Why is it worth the media circus that we know is gonna come from this?
Me personally, I don't even think there'd be no media circus.
You don't?
No.
That they don't give it no attention?
No.
Why?
He's a bench player. Why? Why give that attention?
If it was Kyrie.
Oh.
If it was him, yeah, it would get that. But this dude he just got a 10-day contract. He filling a void. So no, he's not gonna get no attention from this.
And I mentioned this, and if he does get attention from it, and they don't like it, it's a 10-day contract. There won't be another one.
I wish Pat Beverly was on his team.
So, like, if you don't want to see him, if a reporter doesn't want to see him in the NBA, keep asking questions about it.
Right.
It ain't worth it. I mean, so yeah. That's my take on it.
All right. So the next question is: did cancel culture go too far? Is we live in a day and age where if you do something wrong these days, or you say something wrong, or you even in the Kyrie situation, all us is seeing episodes or seeing situations, and when this thing has reached a pinnacle point, can it go too far though? Is it a point where that thing has breached the point of, hey, we need to dial this thing back and let them, you know what I'm saying, let off on people a little bit? Because at the end of the day, 2021, what, 2 years?
I got a very short point with this. Cancel culture ain't real.
It's not real.
It's not real. It's a social media stance. It's not real.
You don't think J.K. Rowling was really canceled?
No.
J.K. Rowling in this year's Harry Potter.
They just came out with a Harry Potter game that's the best-selling game on the system. I'm
not talking about them. I'm not talking. And right now, people are getting shunned for streaming it. They're getting shunned for streaming.
By who?
Live stream. From other people in the coach and gaming community.
What weight do the people that are shunning them carry?
Let me say, with J.K. Rowling could not show up to the Netflix convention. All the Harry Potter, everybody that did anything with Harry Potter showed up to this documentary of Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling could not come.
Why couldn't they come?
Johnny Depp, cancel culture, kicked them off of what's the name of Pirates of the Caribbean. He's no longer doing Pirates of the Caribbean because he was accused of beating his wife, when it turns out he wasn't really beating them.
They tried.
Yeah.
Well, he got took off of the other Harry Potter too, Fantastic Beasts.
Yes, but, exactly right. Right.
It all happened. It all happened so fast. They didn't even. My thing is they go off of everything so fast. They don't even look into it. They're gonna try to cancel you before the verdict.
That's the question. Does cancel? You were saying cancel culture doesn't exist. I can bring up a lot of instances where cancel culture is evident.
No, I'm saying it. When I say it's not real, what I mean is, you're innocent until proven guilty. This culture that we call cancel culture puts guilt on somebody before they ever know, and it's a popularity contest. If a certain number of people, or if a certain person, or if a certain somebody is outraged, then everybody follows suit. It don't exist. Like at the point, like for example, if cancel culture was really that effective, Dave Chappelle would have been canceled. Why wasn't he canceled? You're not canceling Dave. They tried. No, they tried, but why can't they? They tried, but it didn't work. Why didn't it work?
He has a select. It's kind of like you got rappers out here that really not big, like Joe Budden, right? Joe Budden said this very family. The people that's listening to me, they're gonna listen to me regardless. You don't have to listen to me. I have an avid group of people that follow me. Just like this, and we said during this podcast, if y'all do not know, we're not running a podcast. We want to start a community. At the end of the day, we want to start a family that we stick together and we're here for each other. It's not about whether you just following this podcast, that you see these videos or not. We're here to support each other as one. So at the end of the day, we want to build a community of people that's going to turn on and watch us regardless, through the good and the bad. At the end of the day, that's avid listeners. You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna back out. I feel like
Absolutely.
you talk too much.
No, you good. But see, the one of the things I will say that I've learned in the last year is that there's a big difference in followers and fans, right? You have some people that are watching you, waiting for you to mess up, and then you have some people that understand that you're human just like they are, and they're gonna rock with you either way, right? Like there's still people right now making videos about R. Kelly in prison, how they would be singing his songs in the jury, and we know what he did. Those are fans. You know, I mean,
Okay.
I don't like. I don't believe it's a mythical thing, just like the metaverse.
Okay. So here you go. I'm gonna go here with this. Reading through the comments.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Reading through the comments. All right. Yeah, the comments.
You want to read them? You want me to post them?
Yeah. Let's start. Let's start with on the cancel culture. All right. So Tiffany says it depends on what they did. Some people need to be canceled.
Some people need to be canceled.
All right.
What does that mean? Depending on what.
Okay.
They
All
do?
right. And this is my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm speaking for myself on this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As unfortunate as it is, what is the alternative?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you have to ask. Anytime you get on topics like this, you have to ask yourself, what is the alternative?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact of the matter is, us as society, we have what we call mores, things that we're willing to accept and things that we aren't willing to accept as a culture. Sometimes the decision makers are not in tune with our mores. We have control of that. See, when we look at it the other way, the fact is a lot of times media, they dictate what goes into our eye gates, what goes into our ear gates and whatnot. The only way that we can push back on what we will and what won't accept is by saying we won't accept it. A prime example, I'm going to go into Karl Malone at the All-Star game. Karl Malone is a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Been a dirtbag, terrible human being. That whole era of basketball started to seem like he's just a terrible. But I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that about your boy. I ain't gonna go into it.
Yeah,
But I'm just
already
saying.
know.
I'm just saying. Karl Malone should be canceled. I don't want to see him on TV. I don't want to see him as a representation of anything of that era. I don't want to see him as a representation of me. I don't want to see him as a representation of anything. He is a child molester. Like, ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. He is the epitome of a terrible human being. Even on top of what he did, how he even dealt with his son. I mean, us even getting into that is a conversation I would like to get into. Dirtbag Karl Malone. But I'm just saying he needed to be canceled. And so if I never have to see Karl Malone again, and the NBA understands that we as a people don't condone Karl Malone, we want him done. Once we found out what he has done, we're like, hey, we don't want no part of that. Don't bring him out. Don't parade him out. I don't care how many records he has. The guy is a dirtbag. And as far as his forgiveness, he need to take it up with Christ. That ain't got nothing to do with me. Or I mean, like his forgiveness, like I'm not the guy he got to apologize to. He need to apologize to that little girl that's a grown woman now with trauma issues more than likely. He need to apologize to that son that he finally met at 17 and said that you're a grown man now, that ain't nothing I can do for you. I mean, like if you peel that onion back, that guy's trash. The NBA should even had him out there.
So we feel the same way about R. Kelly.
You said, did we feel the same way about R.
Do we
Kelly?
feel the same way about R. Kelly?
What you mean?
Same. He's a child molester.
Dirtbag.
Same thing. He's a dirtbag. But at the same time, this same culture we live in, to put a Jeffrey Dahmer documentary on Netflix and make millions of dollars.
I didn't watch that mess.
Well, I'm just saying, it's there.
I think it's glorified.
It's there. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
they
is.
did R. Kelly. They do R.
Exactly.
Kelly. It's the same
Literally.
thing.
So dirtbag, they making money off dirtbag stories.
Yeah.
Cancel those. Don't make them top 10 on Netflix. Cancel them. If that
Everybody-
culture really
but-
exists.
Okay,
but
can
people
you
want-
put Matt's
people wanna hear
conversation
the
up there while you
story.
go?
I like
wanna
what
hear the
Max
story.
said.
Which one? He got two on. Which one?
The
First
long
one.
one.
The long one.
Two things in motion. Yeah.
But that's the thing about it. People want to hear the story, so that's why it gets the many views as it does. Some people don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer was, so they want to know the background of the story. They want to know what happened. They want to know who this is, who that is. That and people and one of the dudes that actually got raped actually came out and said something about it and put his input on the story. So he wanted to tell his story. So that's why I get so many views. That's why it's out there.
It don't make him no less of a dirtbag.
Okay,
I mean that's the point. But I mean the point is the man wants to tell his story.
Yeah. I mean, and like what Matt said. All right, so let's go back to what Matt said. And then I agree with you, Jamie. And it's sensationalism. Like as society, you know, whether we admit it or not, man, if there's a car accident, the traffic is going to be slow not because the accident is actually interfering the road. It's because of the rubberneckers. We love to see an accident. Like we love to see the drama. And if it's something like the Jeffrey Dahmer show, in which I am proud to say I've never watched it.
Yeah,
I mean, but that's the thing. It's like all these, like, okay, you can go back and be like, okay, all these biopics, yeah. People want to see what these people went through. Like it's a representation of what they went through. Why? Because they. Okay, so when we watch the Temptations and stuff, right? You watched it. Have you ever watched Temptations?
I have.
Okay, so David Ruffin was a scumbag.
He was trash.
All right.
No.
People wanted to know his.
Did he murder people?
Story. No, he didn't. He didn't. But he caused the group to fall, and they rose up after him in the same part. You know what I'm saying? But he was a dope head. Everybody knows it.
A lot of people
exactly. So everybody wants to know the story of how they became a dope head or how they became that way. But nobody didn't cancel him. They did cancel him, but he kept coming back.
Now who's the chairperson of the cancel culture? That's what I want. That's what I want to talk to.
That's what I want to get into. That's the problem to me.
Okay, all right. So the answer to the question that you just asked is, you are on the board of representatives.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
How you feel that way?
We all are. You are on the board of representatives when it comes to, and see, when people use the word cancel culture, I'm gonna tell you a lot of times, what happens is, we as human beings, we are afraid of the closets that we have. And we would say, like, what would happen if something from my closet came out? I would not want to be canceled, right? Correct. So that right there will allow you to skew the way that you think about things and say, man, like, that cancel culture is wrong, because subconsciously you say, okay, well, what about the things that I did that I am a different human being over now? However...
That's tough because here's the thing, right? And it might be hard to believe. Persecution is a part of life, bro. That's it. The things that you've done in your life, at some point, somebody knows what you've done. And if it comes up, what you gonna do? You either own it or you say you didn't do it, right? Mm-hmm. So if your stuff comes out, it comes out. You own it and move on.
Yeah, but you're missing the cancel part of it, right?
Why would I be canceled for my truth?
Can I give you a prime example?
Yeah, good.
All right. Say if one of these so-called rappers or artists say something about Beyonce, the Beehives don't cancel that artist quick, and that's the people, and that's us. Well, not us because I'm not a part of that, but those people will be the first. Like, oh no, you're not about to do this to her. You're not about to talk about her. You're not about to talk to this person. So they're gonna cancel you all together, and they're gonna make everybody else, and they're gonna make everybody else. I mean. Well-known people. You know what I'm saying? Well-known people. So if you're out there and you have some type of fame, say if somebody like I can't say like Joe Budden say something, they're gonna try to cancel him. Oh, we're not watching stuff.
The people. They said the people. The couple people that are offended.
Not a couple people. If you offend her, you offend a lot of people.
It's a
it starts with one, right? Would y'all agree with that? It starts with one, which is why stuff gets shared. It's one person that
I think the biggest problem. I think the biggest problem is at the end of the day, we're talking about the people that's doing the canceling. Should they truly be in power? Because at the end of the day, we have seen this go wrong. Let's say if we're going to go into like the Twitter space. This is really a loud minority. When people look at Twitter, right. You read Twitter, you judge that this is what the world really thinks. When the truth be told, majority of the people in the world do not think the same as people on Twitter. Right. But the people on Twitter are very, very loud and very, very consistent. But they're only the people that speak out. Most of us not going on Twitter posting what we disagree with this thing. So they are very, very minority, but they are very, very loud. At the same time, I do not agree with public opinion, because at the end of the day, I had this topic with LT earlier. At the end of the day, all right, so this is my problem. Most people know me as a conservative, but my problem, one of the things that I go against is capital punishment, like death penalty. The problems with death penalty, at the end of the day, okay, if you're gonna, if innocent people have been let off death row, that means you have killed the innocent person. So if you're gonna keep canceling people, eventually you're gonna cancel somebody that's innocent of that crime. And I would rather a lot of guilty people get off than killing one innocent person. I'm standing up for that one innocent person. Because at the end of the day, I feel bad that Johnny Depp lost his career over the fact of he was wrongfully canceled. At the end of the day, how can we stop for going too far? I would rather the bad people get away than you to shun somebody that did not do what they said they did. It's been plenty of black people.
Here's what I say with that. Like, I hear what you're saying, right? But Johnny Depp didn't lose his career over what he said. Johnny Depp lost his career because nobody was brave enough to stand on his side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe, I mean, yeah, hear me out. Cancel culture is literally the opposite of grace. And Todd just made a comment that repentance and forgiveness are foreign concepts now. For those Christians that participate in cancel culture, you are doing the opposite of grace.
Yeah.
Because those same ones that want to cancel people got closet secrets too.
Yeah.
So why you lied about that? I never forget my dad told me if everybody's secrets came out, it'd be people jumping off skyscrapers to keep their secret secret. They would jump off skyscrapers to keep their secret secret. So where's the grace?
I want to say I agree with Tiff though. They were both toxic. I'm not taking sides. At the end of the day, I should.
Yes, very.
Johnny Depp's wrong in this thing too, but I think I'm more so talking about the way people jump and said Johnny Depp was the main person in the thing, and then listen to the whole argument of the thing. And the cancel happened before the whole situation was aired out. That's what I'm saying. I got a whole different opinion on that situation, but we've been on. We got to move with the show. Let's go on to the next one. What if something was said that offended you? So that question is more so you might not be offended by the Jewish comment, but would you be offended by something that said that offended you? Maybe you're not offended by a kite like a Jewish person would be, but what if they said fill in the blank? On you, hand.
All right, so I think Matt's last conversation. I mean, his last comment was a segue into this conversation.
Okay.
Is there ever a time when we should uncancel someone? Who would qualify for that?
I don't care enough.
You said you don't care enough?
I don't care enough.
I
ain't canceling nobody. I'm not canceling nobody, so I can't uncancel somebody I didn't cancel.
Well,
that makes sense. Like,
hey Matt, I'm gonna tell you something that's just popped in my head. History is the spoils of the victor. So the victor gets to write what history is.
That is true.
So when you ask, could you go back and who would you, man? Like, I guess you don't. I mean, you lost. The victors canceled you. You lost, and I can't think of anybody specifically in my head. I'm pretty sure there's somebody.
I know one person that got canceled and got uncanceled. His name is Michael Vick.
Good one. But again,
we qualify that as cancel though, because was cancel culture a thing when he got?
It's a thing. It was a thing,
but
it
wasn't.
It wasn't really social media hype like it would be right now. He was canceled. People hated him. People hated him, and the only person that really gave him a chance was to do that was the man that just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right about that. Like, you know, that was a massive rebrand. All right, but you said what if you said somebody said something that I don't like? Man, you talking about personally? Okay, personally.
like call you the N word, would it be different? Like most people, I mean, what I mean by this is, okay, we might not be offended by Miles Leonard saying kite, but what if he would have said the N word? It would have been a lot of black people because you said you brought up the fact of we had to Google that. What if he said a word we didn't have to Google that hit right at home? Because we can make light of the word kite, but to a Jewish person, that's going to hit hard. It'll hit just like the N word would hit you. So would it matter more then?
I mean,
Would it matter more then?
oh man, like, all right, Corey, let me tiptoe around this here. All right,
Okay.
tiptoe around. All right. Well, here goes the thing. I'm almost to the point where I'm desensitized from the N word.
Oh yeah.
So if that's the word that you're going with, I'm desensitized because here goes the thing. Tiptoeing here.
Tiptoe.
All right. So when it comes to media, when it comes to entertainment,
Nope.
Don't
Don't
finish,
make that
let
one
me
yet.
finish.
He got a question for that. Don't bring that part of it.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
just
he got
saying when it
a
comes to
Segue. Do that
I'm-
last, man. So it'll be the same.
I'm gonna say my point right now. When it comes down to the media and entertainment, they have decided which words and which derogatory slurs are acceptable for mass media and which ones aren't. Now, I'm not going to say who's the ones that are in charge or what agenda is being pushed or who gets the push to say what can be said and what cannot be said. But I am just going to say that I've never heard that K word in a rap song. I've never heard it. That's probably why I don't know it. Like it's not abundantly out there. And so when it comes down to, you said, what would I do if somebody called me the N word? I probably dance to the beat because there's probably them reciting a song that they heard on the radio. But that's probably what would end up happening.
Facts.
Yeah,
That's a
that's
fact.
fact. So I
mean, what if somebody called you?
Alley-oop to someone else.
Now, I don't know if y'all heard this one before. What happens if somebody said called you a porch monkey?
Porch monkey.
You ain't never heard that? I've heard that one before.
I
I
don't know.
literally heard that one
I mean,
before.
that's a way back in the
I'm
day.
not
I'm
I
getting
would
back.
be
I'm
offended,
getting
but I
back in my
wouldn't laugh.
time machine. Something.
Well,
I'm getting back in my time machine,
Hey,
and I'm going
whoa.
home to see my family.
Nah, I seen somebody.
Like-
I seen a female get punched in the face for calling somebody a porch monkey on the bus in high school.
I don't know.
yeah,
man.
Ali.
Yep.
Hey, it don't apply to me. It don't apply to me. So
People
if
hate
she doesn't
Bob.
apply, I think I might laugh. I think I might laugh at that, and tell them they need to get more modern. And a matter of fact, I'm gonna take them back in my time machine with me, and we can go back to 2023, and maybe go to the bounce house or something. Something because they childish. Because they childish. I'm gonna take them so they can have a good time.
Yeah. What if something was said that offended you,
Mhm.
I don't know, man.
brother? I'm saying something back, like. Like we're gonna get into a war of words, you know what I mean? Like I can't think of a word like you said, bro, because of the culture, like the desensitization, if that's a real word, of the N word being used in every avenue, right? Got a moment for you. The Longest Yard is a movie that a lot of us like. Steve Austin came out and said the N word with a hard ER on it. And we walk past it. So, like you said, they have decided that is a word
That can't be said.
it can be said, and there's no repercussions or consequences to it. But when I say they, I think that we've decided that we made that decision.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we allow
Yeah.
that. Jewish people didn't allow kite.
No,
They stopped that.
we
quick.
allow the N word. Yeah,
Yeah, and turn it into a term of endearment.
Mhm.
correct. Well,
So-
really, if I say I'm calling you ignorant.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. Like, man, Jamie, what you think? Hey,
Nah,
usually we
nah,
see eye to eye on a lot of this stuff, man. What you think, Jamie?
When he just said that, I don't see. I'm calling you ignorant. I'm not calling you ignorant. It's more or less like in our culture, it's you're my brethren.
Mhm.
For us to say that to each other, but we don't have the ER and we have an A on it.
Mhm.
Different word.
So I mean, it's the same word, but we use it as a different terminology.
Mhm.
But me now, I probably if somebody said to me, I'd probably get mad.
Hmm.
I'd probably be upset. Because, I mean, that's not something that I heard from somebody else saying that to me all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Like which one though? Like
either one.
Our,
not well.
Our context.
No,
I mean, nobody. I mean, honest with you, seriously. Whether it's a racist term or whether any ugly word, nobody wants to be called that, right? Like nobody wants to be called that, and like
no, you don't.
And so the fact of the matter is, how would I feel any type of derogatory term, whether it's racist or not? I probably feel the exact same way, whether it's racist or it's just straight disrespectful, because that's the word that comes down to. And like Tiff asked, what if they said to your children? The answer to it is, it's not just the word; it's just the level of disrespect associated with it.
Correct.
And so I would imagine how Jamie is saying, because he uses the A or because we whatever the A part of the subject, there's no level of disrespect associated with that. But if you use it in a manner in which disrespect is associated with it, that's what you're having an issue with the disrespect. That's what you're really having an issue with at that point. So
we just need to stop saying it all together.
Okay, what's the next?
Hold on, I do because I want to say I believe. Man, I get offended every day. I mean, offenses comes with the territory. But what if they said it to my children? I believe I have a responsibility to my children to be disrespected, because at the end of the day, I owe my children more. Like if I punch this person in the face and I go to jail, I'm not there for my children. If I respond in the wrong way, I'm hurting my children in the worst. So I will be disrespected. I will take harm. At the end of the day, I have bigger responsibility to my children. I was disrespected today at work. I can bring up a person critiquing me about my Christianity. You know what I'm saying? We getting this Christian, and it's a friend and everything. He said something that really sparked an attitude with me, because certain parts of my beliefs, I don't celebrate certain holidays because I'm a Christian, and I don't do certain things certain ways. So he was like, "You don't tell your child this?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't do that. I raise my child a little bit different because I have a different belief." And I was like, at the end of the day, I mean, you could do what you want to do and raise your child how you want to raise your child. Then he got into the situation where he said, well, I don't want to say what he said, because a lot of people might think I should have did a different response. But at the end of the day, if I would have responded how some people might think I should respond, and I lose my job, I put my child in a worse position. At the end of the day, I'm an adult. I can go and take this thing a lot farther than what it should be taken, but I can have a conversation with that man in a calm thing. That's why I like Matt's comment. If you are easily angry, you're easily controlled. So I don't try to get as angry, even though I'm offended. I try to respond in a manner that's above that person.
Okay.
Sometimes though, you have to meet people where they are, because you need to make it clear, right? Yeah. And Vontae, sticks and stones may break my bones, but this ain't the 1950s. That's my saying.
I like that you ran it.
It's not. You know what I mean? Like
right.
There's some situations where you want to take the high road, right? And I agree with what
I'm not saying not to respond. I'm saying to respond.
Sometimes. But yeah, no, I ain't got to put my hands on you. But I can. See, my mama told me about this thing called nice nasty. I can say whatever I want to say back to you with a smile on my face, and how you decide to take it is how you take it. But if you meet me with a certain level of disrespect and I respond with that level of disrespect, then let's see who lose their cool first.
Okay, so it's kind of go full circle, right? Like, all right, so full circle when you asked about cancel culture, right? And I asked the question, I said, what's the alternative, right? If enough people say, because like you said, I'm not gonna beat this guy up, but if enough people feel like, yo, like the way that you feel, I don't agree with that, so I'm not gonna talk with you. What ends up happening is this person has to make a decision. Do I care enough to change my beliefs in the way that I do, so that I can actually fit in, or I can actually be a part of this, or I can continue to do this? Should I change how I feel, or am I that indoctrinated in my beliefs that everybody else don't believe, that I'm going to remain the same? Because here goes the thing. It's my personal belief that people do not change unless the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. Because change is painful. Like people don't just change for the sake of changing. Like, you know, if you smoke cigarettes, you're not going to stop smoking cigarettes until something makes you stop. You don't just wake up one morning and say, I'm done with it. Like, usually something has to happen. And so, again, I asked the alternative. What is the alternative to cancel culture? And I don't think there's a better alternative to saying, you know,
ignoring it.
But that's all cancel culture is.
Making your own decision.
It's saying that I will not spend another dollar on this clown. I want nothing to do with this person. Enough people say I want nothing to do with this person. That is what cancel culture is. It's not something that we all get together and this, because at the end of the day, like I said, like I can speak for myself personally. You don't really catch me in these social media streets. So anybody I decide I don't want to rock with. It's not because the masses said, hey, we don't rock with him. It's because I feel like I don't. And if I don't feel that way.
Ryan, prime example, Ryan, the dude with the coffee shop in Richmond, he got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Because his take on abortion.
Correct. Correct.
They canceled that man. That man business closed within 6 months.
But it was so much more than that because he got into a full-blown argument with two young ladies in the store. So he was a bad representation of business, right? Like, I give you a personal example before we move on to the next question. But I remember I had this guy where the guy, I took it as disrespectful. You know, an old coworker of mine used the N-word. I'm petty. You know what I said back? I said, you must be still upset that man slept with your wife. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. Trust me, that hurt a lot more than that N-word that you just said to me. Sometimes you just got to meet people where they at. And it ain't easy to control. You're not offending me, bro. I can walk away from a situation and not care 2 seconds after I'm done. But I said what I had to say.
All right.
But you know, good point.
Let's get this last one. The big N-word. Do we as black people need to stop saying it? The big N-word. Y'all, we all know that word. Do we need to stop saying it?
No question.
Because, I mean, the biggest argument that white people say is in the culture. We say it. We use it as a term of it. Why do we own sole distribution of this word? That's what they would say. But at the end of the day, I don't say it myself. I try not to anyway. I try not to. It does. I think we just need to kill it. At the end of the day, I don't use it. I do try to leave it the way it is and don't use that word the best possible. But I don't know.
It's kind of hard because you're gonna hear it every day if you listen to the radio. Well, some people do. Anyway, I don't know what you listen to anymore, Corey, but I know what I listen to, and I know I hear it every day when I turn the radio. No matter who like what radio station it is, it's gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? So because that's what our hip hop and our culture has in store. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be there, whether we like it or not. So, and then I guess it's here. It's here to stay. It's been here for years. So what we can do, we can try to stop saying it and have our kids not say it, but they're gonna hear it. They're gonna get a gist of it one way or another. So I mean, do we stop saying it? Yes. All right, can we stop other people from saying it? No.
Yeah, good point. So two things. First, about white people, it being exclusive to us. We technically took the word from them. I'm just saying the word they used it first, and we stole it, right? I mean, with good reason, right?
I've been saying that word since people been picking cotton.
Right, exactly. But in all realness, bro, like what I understand is, Jay, you made a good point. But see, we get to decide if we're going to allow it, right? At some point, we can take the stand, but here's the thing. We have gotten so desensitized to it, right? That unless an artist is willing to use it, they can't even get no radio play. Unless they're willing to degrade a black woman, they can't get no radio play. They can't get no money. They don't like positivity. They want us to use that word. You know what I mean? And even when they blank it out, you still know it's there. Bro, your brain, you could have never heard the song before. You hear that blank, but like, they definitely just said the N-word.
Bro, I literally went to the game a couple weeks ago, and it was a song. It was blanked out, and the whole crowd just said the N-word off the song. Yeah. I was like, yo, like. But it is what it is. I mean,
the young white boy, there was a young white boy from Florida. I was just telling Corey this, that young guy that was on scholarship that was singing a song and said the N-word and lost his scholarship. Ironically, got signed to a HBCU to go play football.
oh, he lost that too.
He did? But why is it that, because, okay, this is a sad truth that I think a lot of black people, it's hard for them. Y'all realize that it's not black people that's making these rappers millionaires, right? It's not. It's the Jews and the people that are attending these concerts that don't look anything like us. Okay, so yeah, like that young white dude, in my opinion, was an example of being punished because we pick and choose, bro. And I'm gonna be quiet because we pick and choose, but we do need to stop saying that. And I need to stop saying that. I mean, it's a bad habit. It's a habit that we just culturally have been brought up with. In any situation, we say it when we're mad. F you, right? We say it when, what's up, my? Why we can't just put it with, what's up, bro? We do that with each other. What's up, my? Like you said, my brother. Why we can't use that? Why we can't put on our suits and with the newspaper spread the good news and say, what's up, my brother? We got to make that decision, man.
Well, I mean, me myself personally, you say you don't know what I listen to. I listen to Maverick City Music, Tasha Cobb, and Jay Monty. These are people that they don't say the N-word. I mean, just like much others cursing. And I remember this. And I say that to say this. The reason why they might say it behind closed doors.
Kirk Franklin definitely called his son one.
Yeah, but I am of this belief. If you want to stop saying something, and this is me myself personally, I remember when I wanted to stop cursing. The problem was I had friends that was around, and I used to blame them for saying the N-word. Hey, man, you need to stop saying this or stop cursing around me and stop saying this. And I had to take a look at this. It was what I was willingly consuming. What I put into myself is what you're going to come out. Correct. You keep feeding this thing. You keep feeding this thing inside of you, that's what you're going to spill out. I don't listen to people that say the N-word or people that curse. That's the reason why I don't curse. I don't say the N-word. I try to find different words. It's a lot of other different words that we could say that's in the English language. But at the end of the day, I don't censor speech. If that's what you want to say, you can say it. You're not going to control what I'm going to say. What I want to say out of my mouth is what I say. Because at the end of the day, I don't let no corrupt communication proceed. Y'all gonna have me in here saying scripture, man.
Okay. I've been quiet on this. Is it my turn yet?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Let it out, bro.
All right, so I can say for the people that are close to me, like the people I consider my friends or people I talk to or whatnot, the content of who they are is why I deal with them, right? So how would I feel if they used the N-word, if they were a different race? Like, I don't know if it'll change. I don't know, because if they use it in a manner that makes me question their character, then probably I'll feel away. It's how they use it. I liken it to this, right? You said, should we stop using the N-word? I'm a firm believer that you probably shouldn't do anything that you can't do around your kids, right? So if you feel like you're comfortable saying it around your kids, then go for it. If you're not, then you probably shouldn't do it. But am I going to judge somebody because they don't feel that way? Nah, I'm not. That's not something that I am willing to counsel them over. Like that's really what it comes down to. So again, when Matt asked the question, he was like, who gets to decide what's offended and what's offensive? Man, that's an intrinsic question. Like, that's an intrinsic question. And so whatever you're offended by, there's nothing wrong with you being offended by what you're offended by. Yeah. As far as me, like, I can only speak for what I'm offended by. I can tell you, actually, I kind of agree with Dave Chappelle when he said those two words that you shouldn't put together in a sentence. That I see somebody put it in the chat, and I heard somebody say, when you say the Jews, I actually get offended by that a little bit. Because a lot of times, it's a way to not talk specifically about a person, but to lump everybody into one thing.
Into one category, right?
Well, really, if you cleared it up and says the ones that run the media and entertainment industry, or the ones that do this, that, and the third. Because I think anytime you get into the habit of lumping everybody into one group, you're probably being racist. Like, that's probably what it is to it. Like, so I think, like, But again, that's just how I feel. But we getting to the point, man. We at the saddest part of the day. That's why we got to get these followers up. We got to get to 1,000, so we're not being held hostage by this time clock.
We can go longer. We can go a lot longer.
Yeah. But again, man, hey, you up first. Let's go, Ryan.
Hey, first of all, you are an Eagles fan after your wide receiver said what he said. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Riley Cooper, shout out to the bro. All right, go ahead. Finish, man. We on the clock.
Hey, man, y'all have a good one. I don't have too much. This is an interesting topic. I mean, we'll keep it going. Keep talking about more controversial things. I like everybody's opinion. I think we all got different perspectives, but it all comes full circle. So I can appreciate everybody's honesty and transparency. And great comments too, everybody. Really good comments.
Yeah.
What you got? Hey, it's on you, Jamie. Let's go.
It's been a great show. Very interesting takes from all three of y'all, and from the chat as well. It's just it can get deeper, but we're not gonna go there with that right now. So just think about it. Give us your opinions next time, and we'll talk about it. Have a good night.
All right, hey Corey, it's on you, and don't make me turn into Kobe here and give me a short shot clock. So go, bro.
All right. Again, I want to share the sentiments. Ryan, man, please share this thing so we can get up these subscribers and we can get out more content. We can talk about this thing for much longer and go much longer, but we have a time restriction. Y'all help us help you. We are here for you, and we want to do much more for you. On to my brother Ham.
All right, I appreciate that, man. You had me feel like I was gonna be LeBron James. I had to be clutch at the end, but I don't have to. All right. So check this out, right? Before I close this thing out, I got a few tasks for my family here. Like I said, if you got time and you can go back and click through those videos and get the likes up to get the algorithms up so we can get more people in here, I would greatly appreciate that. 2, somebody asked a question. They're like, "Hey, why we have ideas for comments, like for episodes or whatnot? Where do we put them?" You can follow the Facebook page. I mean, we're anywhere that social media it is. But also, right now, you're commenting inside the chat. If you want to comment in the comment section of the video, we read those too. Like I said, like get it in before 12. That's what it's going to be. That's going to be on the topic. But with that being said, also, if you're not on the YouTube channel and you're on the Facebook channel, I understand that. Man, it don't take much to create a YouTube profile and like it. It's a lot of good content out there. Ours is the best in my opinion. But still, get over to the YouTube channel. But again, man, we at that point. The saddest part of my day is when I got to say, man, remember, love yours because it's yours and it's important. It was given to you for a reason. With that being said, we out. See y'all tomorrow.